We teach our kids, of course, to share, to look both ways when they're crossing the street, all those practical things. But when it comes to dealing with money, a lot of us parents are falling short. That's where Bruce Sellery can help. Bruce from Money Sense with ideas to help us raise responsible spenders and responsible savers.
Wouldn't you just love to give them everything they want all the time? That's what I would. She's 3 years old. I want to give her everything and make her life perfect. But I know if I do that, I am raising a child who is going to be incapable of having a long, happy, successful life.
And you're going to have to give her everything for the rest of your life.
Which isn't going to happen.
No,
because I'm cutting her off at 21, I think.
So why is it so hard for us to do what needs to be done?
Yeah, and so much harder than it was for our parents, right?
Oh, yeah,
because our world is abundant today.
Okay.
Really, a lot of the lessons we need to teach our kids are kind of fabricated, in that when we say we don't have enough money, we have a credit card, we got the money, but we have to say there isn't the money, whereas our parents really didn't have the money. There's also peer pressure that didn't exist to the same extent today. So a 3-year-old wants an iPhone, demands an iPhone. That's a $600 piece of infrastructure
that they're going to smash.
Yeah, when I was 3, I wanted a ball. Like, that's all that I needed, and it was a whole different world. The third thing is credit. You can have what you want, you just have to pay for it later. And because interest rates are so low and people are so used to putting stuff on the card, we don't really think about it. So we're raising kids who in some ways believe they can have anything they want anytime, and I would argue that's not good for them.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so what do we do then?
Three things.
How do we go about it?
Educate, empower, and exemplify. The third is the hardest by far. The first is what we talk about a lot. So what are the age-appropriate lessons that we can teach our kids, largely when they're young, about saving and spending? So when I was a kid, I saved for months for these Cheerios pencils with my name on them. How do we have
I remember those boxes of pencils,
right? How do we have kids save for something? Because, you know, kids these days, they don't necessarily save for things. So that's a great habit to have. How do we help them identify trade-offs? You're going to have this or that, not both. Now, I deal with that with treats for Abby. She can have marshpillows, as she calls them, or an ice pop. She cannot have both. And that is analogous to how we teach them about money. You can have this or that, not both. And basically, you're creating scarcity such that people can learn to make a decision. That's the first, educate. Empower is how do you help them learn that they have some say here in terms of where money gets spent. And I'm all for inviting kids into the family conversation about, are we gonna get a little turtle pool in our backyard, or are we gonna go have a weekend away in Banff? Which do we want? We can't have both. And then the hardest one, exemplify.
Where we follow the rules.
We're also, a lot of people aren't great at managing their money themselves, so when you think about how do I teach my kid how to do this? Well, we need to have the basic knowledge, skills, and habits ourselves. But here are the 2 places to focus on most importantly. First is credit, obviously, manage that well. Second is communication. So how as a family do you talk about money? How do you and your spouse talk about money? Is there some levity and some openness about how you make these decisions? Because kids learn. They can tap into that. And we need to model great financial habits from when they're kids.
You were saying to me while Andy was doing the weather before we started the segment, do my kids have an allowance yet? And how does that work in teaching them lessons? Well,
because what you're trying to do is educate them about making trade-offs. So if they've got this little bit of money, they're both being educated and they're being empowered to make choices. So am I going to buy this or that? It also opens up the conversation about savings. So you said your daughter babysits. She brings home $30. A portion of that goes into savings. For what? And you can get her excited about what it is that she could save for, and how if she keeps saving and keeps saving, she will get something that she could not get if she did not save. So I am not moralistic about it. Frugal people are not going to heaven faster and getting a better condo in the sky. It's just all about getting a handle on your money so you can live the life you want.
There you go. Hey, if people want more information about you, where can they get it?
Moolala.ca is one site, but even better, moneysense.ca. Money Sense is a fantastic magazine. I have a monthly column there and tons of blog posts for all the stuff I've been writing forever for them.
His name is Bruce Sellery. Check it out, moneysense.ca and Moolala.
You say that so well.
I want to say
a copy for your kids.
Moolala.ca. There you go. We're gonna